So, I didn't end up winning nationals, but at least I got 75th, right? Right?
You're Reggie Rocket with my nonsense and hopeless poking projects. You won't stop till you're about to the top with all the hot dips. Hit with the metagame train, the reigning top kids at the top of his game, and you can't hit on top this. You want the best tricks? I suggest you Prof-It. You want a mess split? I suggest you Prof-It. Once we started rolling, you know you can't stop it. Let's go and get some lessons from JWittz and Prof-It. Yeah.
Blah 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 blah. Tournament report. Let's go.
So after getting together for the 9 o'clock players meeting, I went off to the shops to get cards and other items. Because I won Missouri Regionals, I had a 2-round bye, and there was a lunch break. So I was sitting for a while before finally getting to play a game. After my first 2 buys, my first game of the tournament was against another regional winner, John Kettler. Kettler's recognized as one of the best players in the United States, and he's also the creator of Heytrainer.org. He's playing Jumpluff, and he starts off slow, forced to use Chatot Mimic for a few hands. My start on the other hand is pretty decent, and I start off by grabbing Power Sprays with Heytrainer. I feel like I have the upper hand on him until he top decks a Judge and shuffles my sprays away. From here, he has a Jumpluff every turn, while I can only sometimes respond with my Garchomp CX due to some bad Uxie drops. He takes all 6 prizes to my 4, and I'm 2-1. Round 4 was against David Brown, a Pokedad playing Jumpluff. Unfortunately for him, there's not much to say about this game. He starts Baltoy, I start Sableye, go first with his body, attach a Special Dark, and overconfident for the game. 3-1. Round 5 was against Jimmy Ballard. Jimmy Ballard isn't only my usual local tournament organizer, but he's also one of the best rogue players in the history of the game. He got 2nd at Worlds in 2006, and he's had a great history of Nationals performance too. Jimmy's rogue this year is Luxray Electrode, and I think he had Entei Raikou in it too. I start Sableye to his Ditto, and I'm just short of a turn 1 win, so I opt to start grabbing resources instead. Jimmy gets a quick knockout on Sableye with Luxray GL's Bite and a bunch of Flash Bites with the Crobat G, and I respond with the Toxicroak G Poison Revenge. He then starts setting up another Luxray and Electrode and passes. I use my next turn to disrupt, hitting a double heads in Cyrus's initiative, dropping Chatot G to give him bad top decks, and leaving him with few resources. With little options left, he uses Voltorb's first attack to search through his deck and get a Lightning Energy, and rearrange the top decks that I gave him, while I continue getting knockouts with Garchomp CX. By the time he hits an Uxie, I Power Spray him, and he scoops. 4-1. In Game 6, I played another website creator, Brian Bray of BebeSearch.com. I've talked plenty times with Brian before, and he's a really great guy, and he brought Gyarados with him. We both start Sableyes, and he does the usual strategy, impersonate collectors for Magikarps and Regice. I keep disrupting his grabs with Judge and Giratina let loose, so that he can't get set up. I get some early knockouts, but after one of my let looses, he ends up getting all the Gyarados pieces and taking off. I stay healing with Garchomp CX, and eventually take out one of his belted Gyarados with Honchkrow G. His Pokemon rescues bring Gyarados back, and he takes a knockout. I keep sniping with Garchomp, and he ends up just 10 damage short of a knockout after I Power Spray a Crobat drop. The next turn, Brian made a pretty cool play. He drops a Suicune and announces his power, and then instantly brings his hand toward the discard pile. My natural response is to waste a Power Spray, even though Suicune's Cure Stream wouldn't have affected the game. After his trick, Brian tried to Super Scoop up a Crobat but misses, forcing him to waste Gyarados' attack to do 10 damage to knock out my Garchomp CX. I respond with a few more Garchomp CX snipes to take the game. 5-1. In Game 7, I faced Wisconsin's Yehoshua Tate, but everyone just calls him Yoshi. He's one of the many founding fathers of Sableye, and he's a really fun player to play with, so I knew it was going to be a low-stress game. I start with Crobat G in an awesome hand. He starts with Sableye and impersonates a Judge to wipe my great hand away. I draw into Giratina let loose, but end up hitting 4 more garbage cards and passing. He gets everything. Mewtwo X, Power Sprays, Garchomp CX. It was all overkill since I had no hand to work with anyways, and I lost this one. 5-2. Day 2 starts, and I'm a little nervous, because I know I need to win at least one more game to make the top 128 cut. Game 8 was against James Hart, a big fan of Prof-It, and he's playing Luxchamp with Entei Raikou. I go first to Sableye, impersonate, and find that all my judges are prized. So I try Cyrus's initiative and get double tails. He does a few things like attach energy gains and play an SP radar, but after a relatively short turn, I noticed he played no supporter. I used this opportunity to grab Chatot-G and give him bad top decks, while also scoring a knockout on his Luxray GL with my Uxie X and some Crobat drops. I keep the Chatot-G lock going for the rest of the game, and he never gets the chance to set up. 6-1. My last game was against Peter Ortiz, running Luxchamp with Entei Raikou again. I start Sableye and judge him to a terrible hand, but he top decks a Cyrus and starts getting back into the game. I use my next turn to get Chatot-G's Disrupting Spy going, while also impersonating a Cyrus's initiative to take his Cyrus's Conspiracy away. With no supporter, a bad hand, and bad top decks, Peter ran out of options and scooped in about 4 turns. So, I end my Swiss rounds at 7-2, and I'm 24th seed overall for the top 128. I'm feeling pretty great about my matchups, until I see my opponent is Emmanuel Divins, running Kingdra Machamp. Unlike tournament winner Con Lay, I ran no Machamp counter, so I knew that I'd need to get Fast Disruption or a Dunk to win him. Unfortunately, Game 1 set me up for none of that. My hand is a Chatot-G, 5 energy, and a Power Spray. He beats me in about 5 minutes with a Swarm of Machamp, as I have little response with such a bad start. Game 2 shows some hope with the Sableye start. I know that I need to disrupt to win Game 2, so I impersonate. However, my judges are prized again, so I try and Cyrus's initiative. I hit double tails, and he gets a Machamp and 2 Claydolls by the end of his turn. I lose right away again, and my Nationals journey is over. I end the day in 75th place, which isn't that bad considering there were over 800 players. I met some great players and learned a lot, and I'll be more than ready to come back next year.
So, I didn't end up winning with Sableye, but somebody else did. I'll be sure to talk about Conley's victory and the rest of the top performing decks at Nationals in the final part of my Nationals coverage. As always, thanks for watching Prof-It, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace!
Today's information-filled Prof-It episode was brought to you by Stop2Shop.com, and they've got a special offer for you. If you use the coupon code PROF-IT, all caps, you get 15% off your full order. Stop2Shop.com offers a wide selection of decks, packs, single cards, sleeves, and they offer $1.99 shipping for up to 100 single cards. Be sure to check them out for your Pokemon card needs, and thanks for sponsoring Prof-It.